Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, sometimes videos like this don't get a whole lot of views. They don't get a lot of comments. They don't get a lot of likes. But videos like this one I'm doing right now, right here, is the goal. These are some of the most important things, the most important to me, the things I'm saying in this video. Whether it gets views or likes or comments is kind of secondary importance to me. Let me say this right off the bat too, because of the things I'm going to talk about. I want this video to get a lot of views. I want it to get monetized. My channel's monetized, so I have to kind of watch what I say. So let me just do this. I don't call this a disclaimer, but let me say this. The goal of this channel and the creator in this video is to emphasize that recovery is possible, recovery from addiction. It is not the intention of this channel to condone or to glorify drugs or drug use. Let me put that right out in front. Okay, I am a recovering addict. Hi, I'm Daryl P. I am a recovering coke, rock, heroin, you name it, addict. I've been clean and sober since October 23rd of 2006. I've been clean for over 18 years and 4 months, and coming up on a week, I think. 18 years, 4 months, and probably about a week at this point. I did not get this far in recovery by being dishonest with myself or being dishonest with other people. And I'm saying that for a reason. If somebody I support, somebody I like, somebody I admire was using, like if it's a political person or not, and I wouldn't hesitate for a moment to call out their using. Let me just say that up front. All right, sometimes it's best that I give you the timeline on how I came up with it, why I'm talking about this. I tell people, X or Twitter, I still call it Twitter, my anxiety goes right up. Like when I start looking through it, but I look through it every day. I say, let's see what my enemy is doing. I need to know what the right is doing to counter it, to talk about it. I think turning a blind eye to Donald Trump, to Elon Musk, to the right, to everything that's going on now in politics is the wrong thing to do. I don't want to make that reference back to 1940s Germany again, but I think this is not the time to turn a blind eye to what's going on in the White House. Okay, so I looked on X today. Now, ZELENSKY, that word was trending this morning on X, so I wanted to see what they were saying about it. I clicked on it, and this is what was being said. It was all right-wing rhetoric. Marjorie Taylor Greene, yada, 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 Donald Trump Jr. And this is what they were insinuating. They were all saying that they thought that ZELENSKY was high, was using cocaine in the Oval Office during the interview with Donald Trump. There's no basis for that. I looked through all, I went through all the posts and everything like that. There was one post with maybe a dozen pictures of ZELENSKY with his hand like this, with his hand like this, or like this, or like this, and that's their evidence. That's about it is not the point. The point of this video. I don't want to validate what they're saying. Back when I was using, I used to find it easier to hide my own drug use when people would do stuff like this. When they would call out other people for using, it would take the attention away from me, from my using, from my mistakes, my obvious circling the toilet. So this is something that shouldn't be ignored. This is one of the things that bothers me about this. I'm not going to validate this by arguing all the reasons why I think that ZELENSKY wasn't using. Like I said, I use these exact same drugs. I'm not proud of that, but this is something I have a lot of experience or expertise in. I used it for 20, 25 years every day. And, I could tell from a mile away when somebody's using or not using. And I have 100%, pretty much 100% certainty that ZELENSKY, this is untrue. I don't see it. And that's all I need to say about that, because that's not the point of, I don't want to validate what they're saying here. There's a bigger point I want to make. What I see here going on with the right, and they did this before, I'll talk about that in a second, is they're using the disease of addiction. They're using the struggle of recovery as a political tool, just for their own means, for their own rhetoric. I saw them do this before with the border, with this whole thing about making the addicts in America look like the victims. The thousands and thousands of poor Americans being poisoned, and that's not what I saw. I saw the reality of it: addicts waving money and drugs coming into the country from whoever wants to provide them. That's the reality of it. It wasn't the poor Americans being poisoned. If there wasn't a demand, there wouldn't be a supply. And again, I saw this. They're bringing up addiction, and they're just using it. I don't believe for one second the right, Marjorie Taylor Greene, any of these people have any concern about overdoses, any concern about addiction. I think they're just using it as a means to their own ends, just as a tool to club somebody with. Obviously they don't have any evidence or anything like that. And this is what infuriates me about it. Every time when people do stuff like this, it takes away the validity, it takes away the urgency of the disease of addiction, what's going on in this country, people suffering from addiction, people struggling with recovery. It takes away from the urgency and the reality and the validity of it when people use it as a political tool, like they're doing here, claiming that Zelensky was using. I don't believe for one second they thought that. They probably, one person, one of their co-leaders probably just mentioned something in a side, in a text, and then they just took off with it. Oh, he was using, he had his hand like this, or he was sniffing, and like all cults, they all just dog piled on, with not a shred of evidence. And it takes away from the validity. It infuriates me. It does. And the thing is, I don't believe for a second that they're actually concerned about the disease of addiction. Recovery is possible. I've been clean and sober since October 23rd of 2006. I've been clean and sober 100% for 18 years and over 4 months. Recovery is possible. It's a good life. Have a good Sunday.